Hello, everybody. This is Beat Around the Bush radio show. Less waste, help more. I am Belinda, and I have with me Andrea here in the studio,
Hi.
and Pavla on the phone from Czech Republic.
Hi.
Today, we are going to talk about sustainability, about zero waste, and about how humanity can help not just us, but maybe also the planet. First of all, I would like to introduce you one event which is going to happen this Saturday in Kazanlak, where I'm doing my volunteer service, and it's called Without Money Initiative, or in Bulgarian, Bespari. It's an event which is basically exchange market, where people can exchange a lot of stuff they maybe don't need in their homes. It can be clothes, books, maybe old sport accessories, small parts of furniture, or anything else.
And so the people can take the stuff to the market, to this market,
Yes,
and then what happens?
people can take and people can take the stuff there and take the stuff back. It's called without money because money are not a currency in this kind of event. Which basically means that you can take anything you want, also without maybe giving something.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So it's not only trade. So I can just go and take something even if I don't have nothing to give.
Exactly.
It's possible. Oh,
And
that's really
also you
interesting.
can maybe just get rid of your old stuff. You
Yeah.
don't have to also take anything.
Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of stuff here in Bulgaria, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of people have. Because if it was in Portugal, I would have so many things to give. But
We
I will
believe.
see. I will see.
Girls, I would like to ask you if you maybe have some experiences with some without money initiatives, with some kind of exchange market. Maybe I seen that it's very popular, at least with the clothes, just to exchanging the old clothes. Do you have something in Portugal or Czech Republic?
Well, in Portugal, I have to say that it's not common.
Mm.
We have markets for second-hand things and clothes and stuff, but normally you buy them, you pay.
Yeah.
Or what I normally do with my clothes that I don't need anymore, I just put them in these containers, and then they go for the charity. Or some containers are associated with some stores that sell them as second-handed, and then the money goes for charity or something like that. But to be honest, it's not common, these kind of markets. When you were telling me about the initiative, I was like, oh, that's really cool, because in Portugal it's not that common. Even second-handed stores, compared with what I see here in Bulgaria, here I see much more. In Portugal, I only find them in big cities. It's not common there, these kind of things, which is, I think, we should get this example, and maybe try to
Good
do
practice.
more. Yes, yeah, it's a good practice.
Pavla, do you have any experiences with such a thing?
Well, I think now in Prague, especially in Brno, basically the second largest city in the Czech Republic, I think it's quite common now here. Because basically, for example, I organize this kind of event quite often with my friends, so we just exchange clothes and everything. So I think it's getting much more common here now,
Hmm.
which
I
is
also
really good because basically you always exchange something for free and at least you don't have to throw it away.
I also have to say that this without money initiative, it's not my idea, but I took idea from one very successful Slovak event, which has a lot of years of tradition in several Slovak cities, and they don't have to be necessarily big ones. And the original event is called Zone Without Money, which is pretty similar. And the idea is exactly the same. You just go and exchange any kind of stuff.
And I was thinking, what do you do with the things that no one takes back? what do you do with the leftovers? Has to say.
These, as you said, leftovers usually goes to different kinds of charities. And my organization, my coordinator now, speaking with several charities and elderly houses or daily care centers in Kazanlak, and most of them are saying like, okay, for example, we need shoes, so if you will have a lot of shoes, you can give us. We need, I don't know, clothes for children, and so on and so on. So I believe that by the end of May, we can find the new owners to all the stuff which we left.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really, really cool.
Yeah. Um, I think that the first time when I encountered such a thing, some kind of exchange, was when I was a kid, and my mom was giving my stuff, which my clothes especially, which were already small for me, to some her friends, which had younger children, and the other way around, when there was some friend which had like older child, they were usually giving stuff to me.
Okay. Yeah,
Is this
yeah, yeah.
kind of stuff also common?
Yeah, in Portugal it is, especially in the villages, I
Mhm.
think more. But it was like that with me also. I was giving my clothes to other neighbor from the village that was younger, and I was receiving some clothes from, or some stuff from my brother that is older. And still, even I was working in Portugal, and my boss, she was my friend, and sometimes she had some clothes that were not fitting her anymore, and so she gave them to me, or things like that. Yes, it's that is common, not in a market, but
Mhm.
like in a private way,
Yeah, in
or
a private, I mean.
someone that you know. Yeah, that's common.
Yeah, I remember the same when I was a kid. Basically, my parents always exchanged some clothes for me and my sister for another clothes from my friends. So it was also common for me. I think it's quite common almost everywhere. But it's really nice this way.
Yeah, also I was thinking about this, and I was remembering, I have a friend in Switzerland now, and she had a daughter, and she was telling me that she almost didn't bought anything for her, like the little car for the or I don't know, baby's products that are super expensive, and then you don't need them anymore because the baby grows, and most of the things she bought second handed, and then she sold them. So it was okay. There is money, but still, it's interesting because she's not buying a new product, and the other person is also not buying a new product. So it's like reusing the things, and I think that's more people should think about it.
Totally. I also, girls, would like to ask you when you may be, because I know about both of you that you like this topic. That's why are we all here now, and that you are interested in this sustainable way of life. But I would like to ask you maybe when did this started? Especially, I'm just thinking about secondhand shop. That when I was a kid, I saw secondhand shop as something which was kind of disgusting, I can say. I really didn't like the idea that somebody was already wearing the
Yeah.
clothes. And now I don't have anything which is not from secondhand or from somebody by exchanging and etc.
Uh, well, if I think about sustainability, um, I remember when I was in primary school, uh, I learned this thing of recycling, because before that, it was something no one knew about it in Portugal. So as soon as I learned it, I was like, okay. I went to my parents and it's like, Mom, you need to do this and this and that. You need to do like that. No, no. So they changed their way, and now my mother recycles and all the stuff. It started there. Then, when I was in university, I was a bit more interested in some activism, like ecological activism, and was reading a bit about this and trying to join some groups. But actually about second-handed clothes, which in Portugal a lot of people still think that like that, like, oh no, they are not good. It's second-handed. It's because they are not good because
They
someone.
maybe can be damaged, dirty.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So people still believe in the new thing. That second-handed product doesn't have enough quality. For me, I think it was quite recent, actually. I think maybe I was when I started working, maybe I don't know, 5 years ago or something like that. Uh, People start to give me clothes that they didn't need. I was like, oh, okay. And then I noticed, okay, I don't need to buy because I have enough clothes. I start to feel that I have too much things, so I start to give away. And after that, I think the biggest part was when I traveled. So I was only with my backpack, and I felt I don't need anything else. And now I always feel like that. No, I don't need to buy more things because I can survive with only a backpack and just like few clothes, and I can wash them and I can use again. So after that, I never bought new clothes again. But I think it's recent for me. It's like I don't know, 5 years. Stop buying stuff. I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, something like that. It's quite recent.
I think that these recent years is also a kind of trend. I would say that buying, maybe it's because of hipsters or these kind of movements that they they promote, which is pretty good. That they do this, promoting secondhand and again like used things, maybe also not such a how to say elegant things, very sustainable again.
And you
I think
also,
it's becoming like more modern now, basically, which is good finally.
also, I was thinking about the vintage, because
Yeah.
vintage is super trend, and people sometimes go to the shops just to find the old clothes that has this design, and because it's a fashion also.
Actually, in Bratislava, there is one second-hand shop specialized just for vintage, where you can buy clothes which looks like from 20s, and that's something really,
Yeah, really
really
specific.
stylish. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. In Portugal, you can find also these vintage shops, and it's expensive actually. You're buying second-handed clothes, but they are sometimes more expensive than something new, because it's a design, it's vintage, and it's rare, it's unique. Um, but anyway, it's good because it's reusing.
Exactly. Okay, apart from maybe clothes, because we are just speaking about them, I would like to go back to the event, to Without Money initiative, and I just want to say that my first idea was to make it also zero waste. I really try to pay attention to, for example, don't print the posters and try to do the promotion without, but I found it very, very hard. And I know, Paula, that you were also doing some events. They were like zero waste oriented, and I would like to ask you if you can share your experiences with this. How was it for you to don't especially connected with the promotion? How did you manage this kind of stuff?
Well, actually, it was funny because basically the first time I organized a zero waste event, basically it was kind of like a spontaneous idea. So I was just going to invite a few of my friends and something like that. Basically, not many people. And I was organizing it with one of my friends. So we invited a few people on Facebook. So we were expecting maybe like 30 people, something maximum. So at the end, about I don't know, like 80 people showed up. So it was kind of funny. So basically, like Facebook
Wow.
is like quite a good advertisement, which
That's
is
a very
kind of
nice
zero waste
surprise.
basically. So we were just somebody invited somebody else. So at the end, it was kind of like quite easy to promote it without any waste. But basically, it was quite a short lecture, so it was much. I think it was much easier than if you just organize a whole event like for whole day or something like that. But basically, it was quite nice.
So
Yeah,
we are
but
again
when
in
you are
this.
speaking about the organizing of a zero waste event, I was in Bratislava a week ago, and there was a zero waste conference, and basically it was like a whole day event with like lecturers and some shops and everything. And basically the organizers wanted to make it as zero waste as possible. So basically they emailed everybody some information, and it was mentioned that basically everybody should bring their own cups, everybody should bring their own bags and all this stuff. So I think it's quite good, like if you let people know in advance what they should bring, they will kind of like be ready for that. So I think it's quite useful just to let them know that you want to organize it in this way.
I think while you were speaking, I was thinking that we are again in this topic of humanity. That the thing that worked more in zero waste organizing event was networking,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that you said it to few people, they said it to few people, and it evolve, and in the end, a lot of people show up.
Yeah,
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 and
yeah, it
also the
works quite a lot because basically quite a lot of people are interested, so they just mention it in front of their friends, so
mhm.
they invite somebody, then these friends invite somebody else, so it's kind of like a zero waste advertisement, which is for free, so
And
it's
old
really good.
school advertisement.
Yes, it's like
Exactly,
mouth
but
to
but
mouth.
it works the most basically, which is really
Yeah.
good.
Exactly.
And also Facebook and social media nowadays, it's easier to do it without using other ways of marketing. It's easier to promote, I think, with the social media because everyone has a Facebook and then they share with someone and another one and another one and another one.
Well, I agree, but not that much. For example, in a place like Kazanlak,
Yeah.
because also to tell to Pavla that Kazanlak is just a small city in the middle of Bulgaria, and
Mhm.
when you want to reach a lot of people which are maybe older than 40, 50, uh, they are usually not using Facebook, or
Mhm.
they are not using it every day. And I think that in this case the networking is really important, which there is also a problem that we are not very good Bulgarian speakers, maybe. So I was speaking with one of my friend from Slovakia. He's very good in marketing. He's doing a lot of years, and I asked him what maybe can be this kind of zero waste marketing, which is not through internet and it's not posters, so it can reach people, it can meet people in the streets. And he recommended me one like very cool thing which I'm going to do in a few days, and it's to use chalks and to draw with the chalks on the pavements in the public
Oh.
spaces.
Mhm.
It's not
Quite
completely
a good
zero waste,
idea.
but it's still better
Yeah, yeah.
than using paper, for example.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
very curious to see how
to
it's
see.
gonna work.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. That's true. Or even
Yeah.
like writing in something that is already there or used. I don't know, some cardboards or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I would say like in my village, if
Yeah.
it would be talk with the priest, and the priest says the event at the end of the mass, and everyone knows.
Is it the law in a church, like to promote also
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, totally. Because it's something in the community and stuff. So in the end, he would say, "Oh, we will have this event next day. I don't know, next Sunday, and everyone is welcome to join and stuff like that." But it's possible to do this because it's like very local and villages. But here it's a city, so maybe I don't know.
Maybe I should think about something
But
like this.
it's just
Go
an
to
idea.
Orthodox church.
Yeah.
That's a good idea,
It
actually.
in the villages really work. I don't know about the cities, but there it's is like the social encounter for everyone.
Worthy
And
of trial. Yeah, I believe.
uh, but yeah, it's interesting actually that idea with the shop. Yeah, for sure.
So Pavla, I would also like to ask you because actually, maybe this is also interesting how I met Pavla. Uh, we know each other basically just from the internet, from one zero waste group on the Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and people are sharing in this group like a lot of tips how to be zero waste, how to maybe solve so a lot of kinds of problem. People are asking me like, okay, how should I do this zero waste, and so I published this my question there. Who can maybe speak with us in a radio? Pavla answered, and I saw also on her profile that she's really interested in this zero waste topic, and I'm getting to the point that I would like to ask you maybe some tips for complete beginners. Because I would say about myself that I'm complete beginner. I have a lot of ideas how to do it, but I'm not doing everything. It's hard to change everything just from one day to another.
Good.
So what would
Yeah.
us beginners recommend?
Well, I think it's just important to take it step by step because usually when I tell to somebody that basically I don't almost produce any waste, they're just like scared because they think they have to do everything at once. But basically, I think it took me maybe like till 2 or 3 years just to make it work somehow. So basically, just important to make some changes, like small changes. For example, like I bought a bottle for water, so I stopped buying bottled water. Then I just, for example, when I ran out of a shampoo, I just bought a different shampoo without a plastic package. So it's just, like small steps counts, I think. It's just important not to take everything at the same time, just make some small changes and it will become easier. It's also quite useful just to ask always for some advice because, for example, as you mentioned, we have a Facebook group. So basically, like if people are confused, they have no idea what they should do or something, you can always ask for advice from other people. So I think it's quite nice to have your own group where you can have always ask somebody. Because, for example, through this group, I met a group of women who I became friends with. So basically, now we just like share everything. For example, like when one of the girls makes, I don't know, like home apple vinegar or something, she shares it with us. So it's also quite nice just to make your own group where basically you will have similar ideas and similar hobbies. So at least you can always share something with other people. So that's what I like about this because basically you can always meet some people with similar interests and similar hobbies.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It made me think. Actually, I have a WhatsApp group with two of my best friends, and we are always sharing like, "Oh, okay, I found out how to make deodorant. I found out how to
Yeah,
make a
exactly.
shampoo.
This is the best of both
Let's
worlds.
try." And they are coming here to Bulgaria to visit me, and they are like, "Okay, we need to buy a lot of stuff in Bulgaria because it's cheaper, so we can do it after there in Portugal or Switzerland." Anyway, but you were talking about it, and I was thinking, how is it the bulk? If you have shops to buy by bulk, like imagine in Portugal, in the other day, I was watching a new. It opened a new shop, so you can go there with your imagine your dishwasher product
Okay,
or shampoo or whatever. You go there and you can buy
they just
just
refill it.
yes and refill and buy that or it's more common already the food like the nuts or rice or these kind of places it's a little bit more common. This one was new with the I don't know dishwasher or for the product for the washing clothes or these kind of things. Is it common in your countries or is it growing?
Well,
It's easy to
Well, I think
find.
in the Czech Republic it's getting much more common, especially with food. Like now, if you live in a bigger city, it's quite easy to buy unpackaged food because basically, for example, in Brno, which has about, I think, like 200,000 people, there are about maybe like four shops with unpackaged food. So basically, you can just choose where you want to go, or maybe even more of them, just like four of them, which are quite big, I think. But basically, you also have some shops where you can buy liquids for washing dishes and for like for washing your clothes or something like that. So I think it's becoming much more common here. Even like in smaller towns, you have quite a lot of shops where you can buy unpackaged food and these liquids.
That's really cool.
So I think it's definitely becoming much more common, which is really good. But for example, my parents live in a small town, but I think like it's really hard to buy something unpackaged in a small town. So it's definitely easier for people from bigger cities.
In Slovakia, the situation is basically the same. I would say that these places which are zero waste oriented, but not just, for example, also vegan, vegetarian, or everything what is good for our planet, but kind of trendy nowadays. It's expensive. It's always
Yeah.
always expensive.
Right, that's
thing.
the same.
And I also agree completely with Pavla that in the small places, neither in Slovakia, people are not interested in that stuff. So there
It's
is no
not yet.
point of
Mhm.
of opening shop like that.
Oh.
And I think that is the same here in Bulgaria. So far I've seen just one shop, and I just discovered it by coincidence in Plovdiv. Plovdiv is it's a bigger city. It's something like Brno, I would say. And yeah, I discovered this shop by coincidence, where I've seen lentils and beans and all the kind of legumes unpackaged, and I didn't need it to buy it because I was there on a trip, so I didn't need to cook beans or whatever. But I just felt pure happiness that it existing.
Yeah, but it's true. It's not common. It's quite difficult to find. Well, the only thing that you have here is the markets, and you can go and take your bag, and that's the only way.
But there is one thing I
Uh,
think which we can agree with, that in this kind of lifestyle you have to be really prepared when you go just shopping.
Yes, when you go out.
Yeah,
Yes,
when you
yes.
go
You
out.
need to take your things
Exactly.
with you. That's true. That's true. And one thing I have to share with you, girls, when I was in Portugal, it was so frustrating for me. Sometimes I went to the supermarket and I wanted to buy like bio products, and they came on these packages. You know, the ones like the black or the white foam.
Yes.
So I wanted to buy a bio, I don't know, eggplant, and it was one eggplant inside of this package. I was like, how is it possible that you have bio product inside of this package? Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Since I'm thinking and considering this idea of zero waste, or at least waste less, and I'm going to supermarket, it's always very funny internal fight in me, because for example with sweets, that was maybe the last time I had these feelings. I wanted to buy sweets which were vegan, but the vegan sweets were actually much more packaged than the normal one, because the vegan sweets had to have a nice paper cover, but inside there was the plastic,
Oh,
like
okay.
anyways, and the normal sweets were not playing this game of being very environmental friendly, so they were just in plastic.
Yeah, they put the nice package
Yes,
with a
yes.
nice design and I don't know, like a recycled paper or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
So
But
what did you buy at the end?
Well, I think the vegan ones, but because I thought that they are not that there is no plastic inside, but I just discovered when I opened it that there is.
yeah, it's crazy the when you go to a supermarket. Sometimes my friends just send me pictures on WhatsApp. In the other day, she sent me a picture of oh, what's the name? Vanilla. Oh, doesn't matter.
Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Yeah.
Yes, it was just a vanilla stick in a. Imagine these packages for a toothbrush, like a plastic package for a toothbrush.
yeah.
One vanilla stick in a plastic package for, and she was like, "What is this?" But anyway,
There was a very famous picture. I've seen it a lot of times in a couple of social websites. It was a picture from a supermarket somewhere, maybe in UK, of banana without its natural skin, but in plastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the orange, you know, you have only the inside part of the orange or the
Oh,
apple.
yeah.
In this, come on, I think we are still able to open an orange and maybe. Uh,
I think so. Yeah, I think we are. We don't need the
yeah.
machines. And maybe also, just speaking again about the humanity and maybe kind of exchanging, just to find some local farmer around you or go to see the market or bazaar, how they say in Bulgarian, can be the better idea how to than to buy it maybe in supermarkets. I actually try to buy as less thing in the supermarket as I can.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And the local products and seasonal from the season, and that's the best for sure.
But this I found very hard to buying seasonal stuff, especially in here. Uh, what I should buy in this period? Like for example, with the fruits, with the vegetables, I'm not actually very oriented in this kind of stuff.
Actually, I remember I had this thing. I can try to find it and share it with you. It was a kind of a map of the year, and which were the fruits and vegetables that were from each season. Of course, it depends a little bit, and but you can have a little idea. But yes, here it's interesting because I also find that sometimes I go to the market and you have avocados there and stuff like that, like the local market. It's not a supermarket. I'm like, okay. So I don't know. You need to be a bit more oriented, but you don't know because they also don't have the information where they come from and
Yeah.
this kind of information. It's not here in Bulgaria. I don't see it. Maybe in the supermarkets, but I don't understand anyway. So, but in the market, I don't think there is any information about the
No,
products.
I've never seen.
Yeah.
Never seen. There usually also no. They just hand write the price.
The price. Yeah,
so-
that's
mhm.
it. Yeah, that's true.
Uh, Back to the maybe topic about the events, and I would like to speak also about maybe kind of professional life connected with the zero waste idea, uh, which again bring me the thought about the event, the Best Party or the Without Money initiative, because recently we were also making a video, like a promotional video for it, which probably will be ready in a few days. And that was like a big challenge to not waste. You know, we were making actually stop motion animation, and we needed lot of stuff. We needed to buy a lot of stuff which were packed in a plastic, and of course that means that video is not a zero waste made. But I was just wondering if there are maybe some filmmakers or a lot of other professions, if they are thinking about this stuff. If because it's not just about your personal life. That's nice that you're taking your canvas back to the market and then you do compost back home. But how is it with the professional life?
Well, for example, in my experience, I think most of the companies don't really care about that because basically it's easier for companies to just not to care about the waste than to care about the waste. So basically they can just throw away everything and they don't have to bother with recycling or anything. So unfortunately, I don't think many of the companies just really care, which is sad.
Do you have some positive experiences? Maybe not again complete zero waste, but at least some small steps. Have you
Well, I know,
worked
for
maybe
example,
somewhere?
some cosmetic companies
Mhm.
which basically try to produce like natural cosmetics, and at the same time they try to like sell without packaging. They try to reduce their waste and other stuff. So, for example, I know one Czech company. I'm not sure if you know Terra Verde, but basically it's a company which produces, for example, like what is it called? Like some stuff for a house, like some things for cleaning, also like liquids, but also some rags and
Hmm.
uh, not only like the liquids, but basically like everything you need for your home. So basically, they also try to reduce their waste as much as possible. So for example, from the like paper packages which they use, they also recycle it in a way that they just make like envelopes from that which you can also buy. So they basically try to reduce their waste as much as possible. So I think it's one of the positive examples, but I think it's one of the few examples I know.
Yeah, for me personally, my working places were not oriented to it. Um, I remember when I was working in a residential care facility for people with learning disabilities, and there was a lot of waste from the kitchen, from a lot of things, and they were not even recycling. When in Portugal, it's easy to recycle,
Yeah.
just because the trash bin that was just outside of the door was just trash, and for you to recycle, you need to walk maybe more, I don't know, 200 meters. So it was easier to just put it on the trash, and it was really frustrating. Um, so the only thing I was able to do is in the class where I was working with the people, we had a recycle uh, bins, and all the waste that we had from the activities, we were separating it, and we were going with them and putting in the recycle bins. And that's it. But yes, the company, like the whole organization, was not oriented to it. And even here in Bulgaria, I feel a bit of a challenge on this, and I'm trying to also inspire my colleagues to think of activities that will be that you will have less waste, or you don't need to buy plastic things to do them, or reuse other things. Because when you work with kids, it happens a lot. Oh, let's do an activity, and then we do the activity, and then you have a bunch of waste that was just to do the activity at that time, but then you have a bunch of waste. So yeah, I think it's gradually is changing, but it's still a lot to do, especially in professional life, for sure.
I can also
I
see it
agree.
on myself, on my working environment. Back in Kazan, like I am working with two other volunteers. They are Italians, and we are preparing this language cafe. And the first time when we were doing it, we were like printing everything, because we were so excited about the work. Um, that we were you just don't think about the other stuff. You are excited about something and you go for it, and you don't think about the environment. But then after the event, when everything was nice, everything was perfect, and we seen all the papers, we are just we just don't need now. It was like, aha, okay, so the next time we have to do it differently.
That's very
And
interesting,
yeah.
because we did a language, a kind of a
Yeah.
cultural cocktail here also 2 weeks ago or three, and actually it was Kinga that I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe we should do this and that. She was like, yeah, yeah, but let's take the computers. So we have the games or the challenges in the computer. So everyone was having a computer in each table. So we tried to go like the less ways we were able to. There was still some paper, but it's really interesting when sometimes you have someone that reminds you of it,
Yeah.
and then it's so simple to change. But sometimes it's
The
that you are
change
so
is usually
excited
very simple, but you just don't think about it
that you don't
exactly.
remember it. Yeah, that's true.
But isn't it interesting how the ecological changes, especially in this professional life we're talking about, are connected with using the technology more and more? It's what I'm always wonder about.
It's true. It's true. Because you can communicate
Yeah.
without paper or other things. That's true.
I have just one last question for you because our time is slowly running out, and it's connected with the money and with the exchanging. So this idea came to my mind. What do you maybe think if this exchanging things, exchange market, we may say, if it's sustainable in nowadays society, maybe just just the only uh, tool of trading, you know, because when we just think about it, the money itself is just wasting of a paper or of gold, of silver, or of whatever, and they are here just to get something, you know, which you can also just exchange. What do you think about the idea?
Well,
It's
I
the
think
hard
it
one
could
for the
work
end.
for some communities, but I cannot imagine working it for like whole people because basically there are always some people who just want to have more and more money and they just don't care about anything else. I think it can work somewhere, but I don't think it can work globally, unfortunately, because it would be quite a good idea.
Yeah, I agree. I think globally, our society is not ready for that because the majority it's still not on that mindset. But I have to say, as you were saying, it works in some communities. There is a community in Spain, in a city, because sometimes you have these eco communities in the villages and stuff like that. It's in the city. I don't remember if it's in Barcelona, but I don't remember exactly where it is. And they create this concept. They created the eco, so instead of euro, you have the echo, and the echo, it's you can it has a value, and you receive echoes. Imagine, okay, you sell me a bread, so you receive some echoes, but it's not
Currency.
something. It's not a currency. It's online. It's also the same thing using
Yeah,
technologies,
it's like Bitcoin.
and it's about exchanging and trade, and you can even have a designer from Japan that's working for that community, and you will receive some echoes, and I don't know, in the future maybe we'll get some services from the community, or they have a school, they have a bakery, they have little things, um, and they are trying to grow and grow more. So I think yes, it's possible in communities, as you were saying, and it can grow a little bit more, but now if we would change it, like, it would be a chaotic, it would be crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
All the crises again.
Yeah, it would be really crazy, but yeah, maybe good.
Well, it was really a utopic idea, and maybe one day our society will reach that point. Uh, but anyways, so we know that like when you waste less, it can help the environment, it can help the community, and last but not least, it can also help you to realize that you actually don't need that much. That less is more.
Yes, and when you help the community and the environment, you're helping you in the same way.
Exactly. So, girls, thank you very much for being here today. This was Beat Around the Bush radio show. And I just, my last words will be again the reminder of the Without Money initiative or Best Party, which will be this Saturday in Kazanlak from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. in Main Street, Iskra 22. All of you are welcome to bring stuff, to take stuff. It will be a lot of fun. This show was also supported by CEI and the Erasmus Plus program. And next show will happen next Thursday from 3 p.m. It will be with Kinga, and the name is Beat Around the World Music Selection Show, and we will listen blues. Thank you again. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.